Hi everyone in the world of cloud computing. Here are a few tech news highlights from this week in the world of cloud. I'm Brad Nelson of Nelson Hilliard, cloud computing recruitment specialist, placing great people in cloud, IoT, fintech and AI. Thank you for all your support on social media and subscribing to our blogs and YouTube videos. We are now on iTunes with our podcasts of all the shows and the news. There is a link below. If you want to discuss career opportunities or you're looking to hire the best cloud professionals you can book a one-to-one call with me using my online diary. There is also a link below in the description box. Watch out for the new weekly cloud computing shows with David Linthicum, who is the world's #1 cloud industry expert and internationally recognized thought leader. And this week we have a special guest, who's James Staten. James is the head of global marketing at Equinix, one of the world's largest data center providers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share these videos with your friends and your colleagues. This week, Aussie data consumption soars as broadband prices fall, according to consumer watchdog, the ACCC. In its annual report on the telecommunications sector, the ACCC said that when comparing similar plans, real prices for fixed broadband services fell by 9.4% during 2016 and 17, largely attributed to the improvements in data allowances. There has been a downward trend in price since 2013 and 14, although the decline has been stronger in 2016 and 17 than in previous years. The ACC said before adding that this had been driven by non-NBN service prices. By contrast, the NBN Co's economic model has been largely predicted to date on consumers paying ever-increasing monthly fees for broadband services. This week saw Kaspersky make its case to avoid the Australian government ban. Kaspersky is fighting to retain access to Australian critical infrastructure operators in the face of a proposed legislation that could make it harder for the foreign IT vendors to sell products into utilities and ports. It comes as the company also struggles to maintain business with Western governments following bans in the US and the UK. Late last year, the Australian government unveiled draft legislation that would force operators of critical electricity, water and port infrastructure to detail their IT security postures and outsources to the government. The legislation would give the government the power to order the operators to fix any perceived security holes. The Moscow-headquartered Kaspersky used a submission to consultation on the draft bills to lobby the government not to lock out foreign IT vendors. Kaspersky has been banned from selling its security products into the US and the UK over concerns they could facilitate Russian spying and threaten national security. This week saw dozens of Aussie banks go down after a supplier outage. The banking platform supplier races to restore clients. As many as 27 smaller Australian banks and credit unions were offline for much of the weekend after a network outage left their supplier scrambling to restore the services. The affected banks are all customers of Data Action, an Australian banking and IT solution provider. The list spans the likes of Defence Bank, Bank Australia, Credit Union South Australia, Kudos Bank, Beyond Bank, P&N Bank and People's Choice Credit Union, among others. Services appeared to first fall over early Saturday morning when many of the banks took to social media to advise customers of an unexpected issue with online and mobile banking and their websites. Many of the banks blamed either Data Action or Telstra for the problems, advising their customers that the issues were national and not isolated to individual banks. However, later in the day, Telstra clarified that problems did not stem from a Telstra outage, rather a network problem within Data Action's infrastructure. A spokesperson said Telstra did not have an outage that impacted online banking platforms over the weekend. This week, Zuckerberg addresses data breach but offers no apology. Facebook Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg has issued a long statement in response to the recent claims about data exfiltration from the platform to research firm Data Analytica, and he was promising to work through this and build a better service overall for the long term. But he did not offer an apology for the data leak, and that has resulted in private information of at least 50 million Facebook users being passed to a third party. Zuckerberg also did not address the claims made by his former platform operations manager, Sandy Parakilas, that data harvesting from Facebook was a regular occurrence and not as a one-off as in the Cambridge Analytica case. In recent days, Facebook has had to battle claims that data breaches led to the information of about 50 million of its users being siphoned off by Cambridge Analytica, a voting profiling company that worked on the Donald Trump's election campaign. Facebook has contested this, saying that the data exfiltration was due to a feature in an app. The allegations about Cambridge Analytica were made by a former employee, Christopher Wiley, and reported by London's The Observer and the New York Times over the weekend. A former senior manager at Facebook says hundreds of millions of users of the social media site could have had their personal data harvested by companies that use methods similar to those utilised by the person who passed on the data to the research firm Cambridge Analytica. Sandy Parakilas, who was platform operation manager at the company from 2011 to 2016 and now works as a product manager for Uber, told The Guardian that he had told senior executives the firm's approach to data security would prove to be a major risk. I'm Brad Nelson of Nelson Hilliard, cloud computing recruitment specialist placing great people in cloud, IoT, fintech and AI. I hope you enjoyed watching this week's news, and remember to like, subscribe, comment and share this video with your friends and colleagues. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, find us on Facebook, Twitter, and you can also check out the shows with David Limpicum on the podcast. There's a link below in the description box. Until next week, be good, be safe and keep our clouds secure.